Well, hello and welcome, everyone. We are the Shills, and this is PubChat, where we just chill back in our cool little zone and get to the things that matter the most, because that's what we love to do. Tonight, we've got the Snark on the show as our guest. We'll be rocking it and kicking ass with a really creative guy. We've got Tommy Gronvold on the show, and joining us, too, we got Brainy Beaver coming up after. Great stuff in store, indeed. I'd like to say that the Shills hit the 1,000 sub mark. Thanks to everybody watching and everybody who has watching. So I think you should all jump in here, guys, and give me a hand thanking everybody who's watched and subbed. Get us to 1,000. What do you say, guys? Right on.
Absolutely.
Oh, hell yes.
Right on.
Well played. Well played.
Do you know what?
You know, so
Absolutely.
There's so much more.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. What was that, Monkey? Go ahead there, buddy.
Well, I was going to say, you know, we've passed 1,000 subs, which is absolutely awesome. I just wanted to say thank you. Like, firstly, to all you wonderful people that are watching now, those that catch us, those that watch us all the time. Brilliant, man. Everybody I work with, I love you guys. You rock. All our guests that have been on just made it fucking awesome. You know what I mean? You can't... What can you say? Brilliant.
Yep. I agree, man. It's unbelievably cool. No joking there. It's awesome.
Do you know what, though? We should acknowledge the fucking, brain dead, moronic butt plugs, you know? Those people that have got about as much sense as a lobotomized goldfish. It's seemingly fucking confused, man. They just don't understand a toilet, let alone reality. I'm
but
talking
they give
about
us
these astonishingly ridiculous, stupid, brainless, globe-denying wank spanners who've completely and utterly lost the plot so much they actually think the sun is just up there doing circles above our heads.
And we love them for it,
you,
man, because they
Butler.
give us they give us so much. Like, where would we have all started without those morons? So hats off to you for sure, So yeah, thanks everybody. You pushed us there. You got us there nice and quick as we see it. So it's awesome. We love it. Thank you so much. And, here's to a bunch more. Why not, right? So
Yes,
let me go around the
man.
room here and see who's hanging out with us and see what everybody's up to. Right off the bat, let's see what's happening over at the pub with the Sarcastic Barman. How you doing, buddy?
Good evening, Squire. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Oh, good, great. I mean, it's happy times, We're having a lot of fun doing this, and people seem to like it, so it's great stuff. What's new in the pub? What are you up to?
Oh, it's been a good week. It's been quiet for the start of the week. Nice, busy night tonight. Sold lots of homemade chicken tikka curry, so that was always good. Lots of new beers. We've just changed suppliers, so loads of new beers coming to the pub. So anyone in the area, come to my pub. Come and buy lots of beer. And I got to sample the new Old J rum, which is really yummy. But as for YouTube stuff, we've discovered that Creaky Blinders are reptilian. The Large Hadron Collider is a fucking Stargate. 5G lamppost is killing a tree. And the other guy was that stupid, I've forgotten what he was, and it was only last night that this video went up. No, sorry, the night. Yeah, last night, Jesus. But yeah, it was that stupid, it was mental.
Oh, right on. I know that was some really, really unique, absolute crazy junk. So, very, very cool. And I think Cave Town deserves a visit here. Let's see what our resident caveman logical troglodyte is up to. How you doing, pal?
Hey, yo, Dick, what's happening?
Oh, good days indeed. How's the Cave Town?
It's been a little weird today. We turned on our trans-dimensional communication devices and the wormholes wouldn't open up properly, and all we got was Phuket word talking, saying words and things and stuff, but he wasn't making any sense, and I couldn't change the channel, and I got a bald patch in the back of my head from pulling my hair out.
Man, somebody down in Cave Town needs some extra help with the tech support. That sounds like horrible stuff to have lived through. You sure it wasn't a nightmare?
Oh no, this actually happened, and Where's Wally came to the rescue, and he got that smacked down properly, and we switched over to AB Science's channel, got a little intelligent content, and we're all good now.
Right on, right on. Saved at the.
Oh, we seem to have lost a Dick.
Yeah,
Oh, where
What's
was
up, dude? How you doing, man?
Oh, there he is. Oh,
It's
we've
all
got an
echoing
echo
now.
too.
Something's
Yeah,
weird.
what happened there?
I don't know. We
Man,
lost
that
you
was
for a
trippy.
second. You came back, and then there was a bit of an echo. I think we're okay.
Yeah, it felt like I was being dragged down some sort of weird rabbit hole.
It all seems okay now, so Dick can keep going.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, let's get Kevin Kennedy in here. What's happening your way, man?
Hello, Globe Earth researchers, debaters, and debunkers.
Oh no.
Oh.
Sorry, I got something incredibly
Yes.
stupid stuck in my throat for a second there. I'm doing excellent. I'm doing fantastic, and I'm stoked for tonight. How is everybody?
Oh,
Fucking
great
awesome,
here, great
bro.
here.
Man, I love this dude. Kevin
Yeah,
rocks.
great content.
And as far as thank you. As far as what's going on, I have an upcoming stream this Friday that I think everybody should tune into because you're going to witness a live murder. I think it'll be fantastic.
My reminder is already set,
yes.
mate. I've already liked the video.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah. I can't wait. Oh, it's going to be awesome. And anything special in the uploaded video department coming from yourself, Kevin?
I'm working my way through Anthony Riley's paper, call it that. Working on part 2 of that right now, and God, it's so much stupid, man. The middle of it is the worst because that's when he really starts getting into proofs and evidences, quote unquote, and they're just the worst. So part 2 should be coming out, I don't know, next couple of days.
Killer. Can't wait. Right on, right on. And if I look to my list, I see that I better get our amazing producer, the great Mr. Tattie-Bogle, in here for a little something to say. How you doing, buddy? Something to say. How you doing, buddy?
Oh,
something to say.
good afternoon, troops. Oh, good afternoon, troops.
How's it going?
From my
How's
mic.
it going?
So I'm going to say hello, thanks for subscribing.
That's an echo.
We have an echo.
Oh, yeah.
Bad echo.
I think
Yeah, he's got
Tatty
a
was
wire
trying to
across.
say it was him, so yeah.
Yeah, he's got a little wire crossing action going there, but he's doing good otherwise. So you know what? We better leave him alone and move on. We've got Amy Hogan joining us tonight, handling all our chat moderation and call outs and so on. Amy, how you doing?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Oh, good here, good here. Y'all set for some fun tonight?
I sure am. I'm ready.
Awesome. And I do believe there was a first super chat during that intro that you get to read out, is there not?
There is. We had a yes, we did. We had a super chat. It's hard to say because it's the first one from 1 Minute Debunk. He donated £2. He said, "Acknowledge the secret memories in the intro."
Only very few people have noticed it so far. That's pretty funny.
That is funny.
All right. Yeah. So, you know, we did hit the 1,000 subs and we turned all the super chat stuff on. So if you've got a shill you want to make them say something crazy or ridiculous, go ahead. We'll play along. It sounds fun. And at this point, we better get to our guests on the panel tonight.
Oh.
And I see Tommy Gronvold has joined us. Hey, Tommy, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining us again. This is excellent.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me. That's awesome.
And, you know, back on the show with us, what are your thoughts? You ready to really tear apart something cool and get to the meat and potatoes of a few good topics here?
Yeah, always.
All right. Cool. Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, this is good. Now, we have heard from the Beaver. He's going to be joining us in about 10 minutes or so. He's just, rushing home from the dam. Got to rub the kids on the head, say hi to the wife, and then he'll be in. So no problem. That makes it so we can get to our guest. We have somebody that's really cool and creative on the show, ladies and gentlemen. Help me welcome the Snark. All right. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for joining us.
Very good, thank you. They call me the troubadour of the globe part. Hang on, what was that?
I have no idea what just happened.
Airport?
We forgot. We were playing around with some test sounds and having a joke in the Streamlabs stuff, and we never did set them correctly. And that was the unfortunate sound of a super chat coming in. It's like a jet plane landing or something, but we never did. We never did fix it before the fucking show. So I'll call it out here. NANA, who is an awesome dude, just pledged $6.66 because why? Satan approves. I love you, buddy. You're awesome. Oh, that was really fun. I'm glad he threw in a good one. So let's try this again. We have the Snark. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for joining the show.
Very good. I'm here under my true name, so not everybody knows who the Snark is. And I'm having some fun. I did a great video, I suppose, with Feck You, and everybody could check that out. It's my latest production, and it was finished by Feck You, and I think the results are awesome.
That was a good song. That was a good song.
Yes.
That was just such fun to do. I've been asked by Fight the Flat Earth to do a little thing, and I did that. And okay, I'm open to requests because why not?
Well, you just might get a few after this from saying that. So we'll remind everybody as the show goes that there is some serious creative talent up for grabs if one requires. All right. So I think, have we made it around the table to everybody now? Did I actually accomplish that properly? I did. Look at that. Holy fuck, we did something right. This is amazing.
No, you didn't speak to me, did you?
Yeah, there's that damn jet again.
You didn't speak to me, did you?
You spoke on your own, Jet.
Yeah, well, Jut, take that last super chat. Jut, take that last super chat and then, do your turn.
Yeah, man, let me find it first.
Oh, yeah, right. I just put you on the spot, just navigating your shit there. Sorry, buddy.
Which one was it? The Satan approves. You read that one. Yeah, I got it. Sagan approves.
Sagan, yes.
Cajun crustaceans. Thank you very much, man. Awesome. All of you that have just super chatted. Wow. It's amazing.
Yeah, totally awesome. Now, Monk, what's going on in your world? How you doing, buddy?
There's another one.
Yes.
Oh my
1 minute debunk. Shut up and take my money.
Yeah. There's another one.
That was a good shout.
Just to point out, Dick, the YouTube side doesn't hear the jet noise. It's only us hearing it, apparently.
Oh, no.
Ugly German Truth said they don't hear the jet.
Oh, well, that's really convenient and great for us then. I like that very much. I know how to fix that. So let's see here. Well, Monkey, you were going to tell us what's going on in your world.
I just done a random video the other day. Can you hear me?
We can.
Yeah, I do.
Yes, that's good then. Thank you. Yeah, I done a random video the other day. I've just recorded some clips for someone I won't say because it's his collab. I can't wait for that because someone else is in it who I love. So it's wicked, man. Other than that, I'm just going to keep being a monkey. Is that all right?
Yeah.
You can be a monkey, mate.
I think you did good.
I am a fucking monkey. I'm best monkey there is, mate.
Yes.
That's the good thing about being a monkey. You can know it, and you know it because you are. Monkeys do what they want, man. It's wicked. I love it.
As I
think we
as
got
I said on Twitter this morning, it is a beautiful goddamn day to be a monkey standing on the side of a spinning, whirling, twirling space rock.
Yes.
I like that very
Only
much.
I would
Very
know
much
really
indeed.
what you mean by that. Have you got a tail?
So who at the panel here has heard anything that was absolutely crazy from one of the opposing side of the argument in recent times? Hey, what do we got here?
I've heard a couple of crazy bits, but I will just quickly address one quick little thing. 9 o'clock hero. Thank you very much for a £9.99 super chat. The gods and dogs approve. I'll leave the rest for others. But yeah, I got muted today on the Flat Earth World Tour thing because apparently it's an echo chamber. Because anything I said, it didn't matter that I was being polite. I was addressing them politely. It was all about, no, it's got to be an echo chamber. We don't like people spoiling our space. That was the literal answer I got. It was fucking ridiculous.
That's awesome. We have a super chat in from Hannah Anderson, $10. Thank you so much. Will the monkey squeal if you pull his tail? I think we should find out.
Don't you dare pull my tail.
That would give us the answer.
No,
Oh, let's turn to Amy. Amy, what do you got for us?
Actually, those were the things that I had, the super chats. So thank you for reading
there's
those
another
out.
one that's from
There's the third one, Amy.
Spaceman.
Oh,
one,
there
yeah.
is. Oh, yeah, there is. Thank you. The casual spaceman donated £5, and he said, "Space is real, and we went to the moon, so get over it. Hail the Shills and hail Satan. Let's rock." That's a good one.
Awesome. Was that the damn flight again there? This is going to be hilarious.
It
We're gonna
sounded
have to
like it,
figure
yeah.
out. Yeah.
That's worse because that's only
I'll go-
Hannah's.
It's
That means
madness.
Spaceman's still got to come through.
That's going to take some
Oh,
getting
man.
used to.
Yeah. So, Barman, you were saying that you would come across a couple of goodies. What's going on?
Well, I thought I'm subscribed to the, what is it, James Dudsbury's Family or whatever it is, the bloke that's basically been doing the European tour for the Flat Earth model crap. And fair play, the bloke himself, I met him over in Cardiff. He's really nice to talk to. But it was some guy, Lee or something in Berlin today. And I thought, well, I'll go on. And they're talking about bits. And as they're talking, I'm bringing up in the chat going, well, that's wrong. How can the moon be a light when it's got shadows? Do this test when there's no moonlight. You can still see that in the shade and without the shade, there's still freaking a difference in temperature, all that crap. And I was going through and I got muted. I got timed out. And when I swapped accounts, and when I said, why am I being timed out? They basically said, because you're not, what was the exact wording? Crap, I've got to remember now. It basically came down to, we don't like it that you're pulling us up on crap. And what was even more amusing, I was getting censored after they moaned several minutes earlier about YouTube censoring their crap. And I was like, you're taking the fucking piss. You are taking the piss. So nothing the barman said was, here we go. Nothing I said was negative. I simply pointed out what was wrong. So basically you want this to be an echo chamber. Yes, he said he went to my Discord, went to my channel and discovered what I was all about. So basically, because I was debunking them on other things, it was, no fun for them. So, twats, basically. It's like, oh, well, you can't make that shit up.
We'll get Amy in with the chat, and then we got Logical Troglodyte up.
Sure, yes. I have another super chat from John Rapp.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. He donated Australian $5. I approve this channel. Signed, Natha South Pole Edgeguard Authorities. There we go.
Good one, John. Right on, right on. And we'll switch right over to Logical Troglodyte.
Well, the stupid I've heard in the last 48 hours is, well, rather stupid. We got the moon as a hologram, sunsets are plasma, and Doppler weather radar is kind of a mixed bag. Some people are telling me that it's trying to irradiate the population for population control. Other ones are telling me that it's actually trying to control the weather. And still yet other ones think that they are using it to listen into what we do.
Jesus Christ, that's incredible. Sometimes I wonder how we keep our sanity going through this crap, guys. It's insane. It is insane.
You're saying?
It is.
What's sanity?
I lost
good
it.
point. Good point. And I think we might have just been joined by Brainy Beaver.
Awesome.
Is he unmuted and ready, or is he still a little kerfuffled? Yeah, there we go. How you doing, Beaver? Yeah.
I'm working. Hello. How's it going?
Yeah.
Yeah, good,
Coming in
good.
hot.
You're audible.
Beaver. Another animal.
Yeah, I'm a little kerfuffled. Don't get me wrong. I literally, I'm still, the tingling is still coming off of my leg from my knee brace that I just took off. So I literally just walked in the house and dropped the pants. So
Good job.
how's it going? I got underwear on. Come on, you people. Just so everybody knows, my boxers are sacks, so they cradle everything. You got to have support. But then, but we're talking donuts. And the thing is, I couldn't find this pair of boxers / boxer briefs. So you're all lucky because that fucking Beaver special, excuse the language, sorry, would have had a whole lot of sprinkled donut ass. Because these things are just, I bought them for fun and I wear them occasionally for my wife. And it's literally just sprinkled donuts, the whole set of boxer briefs.
Enough info.
So, yeah. Well, you guys love it. So I'm here for the debauchery. Is that why I was brought on?
I'm just happy I'm not the only animal on the panel now.
There you go. Yeah, but you're the only one that flings poo. That's not something beavers do.
You chew wood. That's fucking weird.
Brainy, did you say that's not something humans do?
No, it's not something. Oh no, humans have done it. I was watching FloridaMan.com just the other day.
No,
Humans definitely throw
beavers
poo.
don't do it.
Beavers don't throw poo. We don't have those opposable thumbs, you know.
But you chew wood. That's fucking weird. Who wants to chew wood? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, but that thing with that tail was meant for flinging. I mean, if a beaver decided, it could really put a good fling in there.
Yeah, it's made for spanking, which is
right
probably
there.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Logical. Yeah, I think it's actually made for spanking, isn't it? So I mean, that's probably right up my alley.
Man.
I'm a dirty boy.
I tell you what, man. I wouldn't mind swapping tails for a day.
In fact, that's something I'm going to ask Mrs. Beaver now. I'm going to ask her if she really likes it when I paddle her behind with my... Anyways, moving on.
Too funny.
Brainy has something on his mind.
Yeah.
We
Logical
just took a left turn in Albuquerque. Wow.
Yeah. So,
He knows I'm just having fun.
Well, Beaver, in my latest video, I put a mishmash of all sorts together, and there was one. Is it Rory? Anyone remember his name? Rory James. That says incest is going to be made legal somewhere. And I said about well, animals do it, monkeys do it, and I don't mind having a go on my brother or my mum now and again.
For the record, I think incest is actually, as long as they're an adult, is actually legal anyways. I think it's just socially not acceptable.
No, man, it's weird. I mean,
I agree. I'm not saying it's something we should all advocate or strive for.
No.
But correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think, at least not in Canada or America, that there's actually a law against incest.
I don't
as
think
long
there
as
is.
everybody's I think as long as everybody's of consenting age, then that's kind of more of a social faux pas, right? Which, I mean, it's a very big social faux pas.
For everybody watching at home, I don't know who these people are. They just wandered into the bar and started talking to me. I claim no knowledge whatsoever.
Talking about incest and its acceptabilities.
Oh,
wow. Banjo soon.
Deny everything.
Hey, Beaver.
Sarcastic Barman threw a super chat in $2, and he wants me to do I am Batman.
Worth every penny.
Aren't I about to be beside Steve as a rape apologist now? Isn't that how that's going to work? I'm going to be. It's like Beaver advocates for incest. Steve is a rape apologist. Isn't that how that's going to work with all the wrong people?
Bestiality
yeah, but all the right
legal
people
in
love it.
17 states. Is that correct?
I don't know America's rules. I just know that
No,
Canada's
I know
a little bit more
You're
of
from
a.
Canada. I know that.
I'll be
Where
honest,
the
I don't
hell
know
are
the
we
rules.
going?
I'll be
Where
honest
the
with you,
hell are
I
we
don't.
going?
Well, I was about to say I don't know the incest rules, but I'm realizing that this conversation is still in the wrong place.
Yeah, but you're an animal.
No,
so my
no,
question
the
to you
only thing-
do beavers also practice incest?
You know what? I have to look that up now
Do
because
they?
maybe. I don't know.
I
Yeah.
know. But now the only thing that could make it
Anyway,
work is
that was a
turning to
joke
another
done. Let's
Canadian.
move on.
So
Yeah,
let's check. Let's check
drive
that
this
Kennedy in
fucking
space
bitch
here.
back on the road here.
I was going to close it out with this from the Canadian Criminal Code, section C46. Everyone who commits incest who, knowing that another person is by blood relationship his or her parent, child, brother, sister, grandparent, or grandchild, as the case may be, has sexual intercourse with that person. Everyone who commits incest is guilty of an indictable offense and is liable to imprisonment for a term of not more than 14 years. And if the other person is under the age of 16 years, to a minimum punishment of imprisonment for a term of 5 years.
If they're under
Yes,
16 years, you can just
and it
hang them
should
by their
be.
testicles, as far as I'm concerned.
Fair enough.
Because Jesus. But anyways,
Yeah.
yes, moving forward, that's it used to be 14 in Canada, and I don't know how old you are, Dead Kennedy, but not that many years ago, actually, which is crazy.
No,
it was
yeah,
like 14.
I remember
when
that,
I was in
actually.
college, it was 14.
I remember that
Was the
actually. And I
consenting
remember
age.
having a conversation about how it was screwed up and we should really change that.
Well, the only thing is the reason they did that, just so anybody doesn't get the wrong idea. In Canada, it used to be an over and under 14. So if you were 14, you were basically of consenting age. Now, the reason they did that was because America's system had its own flaw. The flaw in America was 18 over and under, and you'd have a lot of because that's a high school cutoff point for some people. You'd have a lot of situations where there was, mommy and daddy of the daughter don't like their boyfriend, their daughter's boyfriend. They know they're banging. He turns 18 and they call the cops and say that he's raping my daughter. So that's why they had to put in Romeo and Juliet laws in America, that if you were previously related or like you're previously in a relationship when the other person turned age, or if you had been in a previous relationship before they had changed to the 18, it nulls that entire 18 over and under, because there was too much of the legal system was getting plugged up with parents that just didn't like their girlfriend, their
Right.
daughter's boyfriend.
Vendetta.
Short answer is
Yeah,
Canadian
so in
law is
Canada
screwed
they
up.
were well, but so what they did in Canada is we have a bit of a, if you look up the criminal code with consent and with regards to statutory rape in Canada, I believe, and maybe I'm wrong, but I believe it's a bit of a graduated system now, where 16-year-old is allowed to, it's like up to 20 or something like that, and then it's like a 17-year-old is up to like 21, or there's actually like a threshold there where if you're within these certain like seniors in high school points, there's actually a gap that you're allowed to go up to where it's actually not considered statutory rape. But then once you hit 18, you're an adult, so it's just those numbers just disappear.
See, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, it might have changed, but I'm pretty sure that in this country, it was 16 for same heterosexual, and 18 for homosexual rape.
See, the thing is, you look at college, though. All I was going to add to this is you look at college. I mean, I went to college at 17, and that's part of the reason why Canada didn't want an over and under system, because let's say, I was a pretty little girl. Anyways, I go to college at 17, and I'm cohorting with boys or girls, whatever, that are 2, 3, 4 years older. Well, of course they're going to get into relationships and have sex because they're peers with each other. So it's really not fair to penalize a guy who's literally only 2 or 3 years older than the girl he's sleeping with for saying you're a horrid person because this is a child. And so they created a graduation system where there's like a little buffer zone there. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It does make sense. So that way they allow
That
the
was
colleges
a
to
very
be
random
college.
conversation.
This is how we go.
This goes hand in hand with a lot of different laws. You can't always have black and white. There has to be, some area for a reason. And that goes in a lot of areas. Not flat Earth, globe Earth. I mean, that is black and white, but in a lot of areas, graduation is good.
That's why mandatory minimums are kind of not really a great method all the time too. Like in Canada, the Harper government was putting mandatory minimums in for like drug charges and stuff like that, and it's ridiculous because you can't weigh, the guy who has his adult friends come over to his house and he sold them a couple bags of weed, and those adults go and consume it privately on their own time time in their own. Like that is not the same offense as like selling to all the children that walk by your house on their way home from high school. Like that, they're two different.
Oh, cool.
So like doing the mandatory minimum thing is exactly that. It takes away any of the grayness and makes it a black and white, and it doesn't allow the judge to be a judge and actually like look at the situation dynamically and say, okay, who is really hurt by this and what's an appropriate punishment for this thing? Because I don't think appropriate punishment for a guy who sold his adult friends, a little bag of weed is to send him to jail, take him out of the working system, give him a criminal criminal charge, all that stuff, right? It just fucks up the entire system for no reason.
Oh,
absolutely. Yeah.
We got Amy looking to jump in here. Let's get to Amy here. Amy.
Yes, please. I have a couple comments. One, Chris O said, sex is boring, incest is relatively boring, and necrophilia is dead boring.
Oh, damn me.
That's funny.
That is funny. And then Gary Graham says, didn't the trailer park law state that if it bled once a month, it was legal, including deer, bears, and raccoons?
That's funny. I didn't watch Trailer Park Boys very much, I'll be honest, and I know that for like a lot of Americans hear that and they go, "How could you not watch one of your national treasures or something?" But like, no, we didn't all watch it. I've watched it.
But we did all watch the Red Green show.
Oh, fucking right, boy. Oh
yes.
Red Green is the man. Oh.
Yeah, he was awesome.
He'll be a
if
sad
they don't
day when
find
he
it
passes
handsome,
away.
they should at least find a handy.
I watched him make he had 2-liter pop bottles, and he, they obviously took a lot of time to make it, but he like did the whole thing of like, well, we'll just kind of work on this, and you'll come back in a minute, kind of thing. And they came back later, and he built a cabin cruiser out of 2-liter pop bottles, like 2-liter pop bottles. They duct taped them all together, and I like literally mean like he comes out of the inside like, oh, hey there, as he walks out of the cabin.
Yeah.
They put it on the lake too. I mean, Jesus, those stupid people, eh? Like, remember you always hook things to like the tire? They'd have a belt drive to like the tire of a car. They'd use it as, like a little conveyor belt thing.
Yeah.
Wait, did you guys watch Red Green in England?
No, but I've seen that done where people push up the back of the car, then run a belt off the back wheel, rev the engine to run some sort of equipment or something like that. It's basically a mill sort of idea thing.
If you've never seen Red Green, anybody who's watching who has never seen Red Green should go look up some Red Green videos. I'm sure YouTube must have some, because it's just too much. He's like the whole black and white. Okay, no. Anybody who's watched it knows what I'm talking about. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. You have to go see it. I think I'd just be doing an injustice by trying.
Yeah,
well,
it does have to be experienced for sure. I do agree there, because it is unique. It's the whole thing put together that makes it good. I want to see if Tattie there has one of those videos queued up that we might dive into.
I'm going to read Tattie's super chat first.
Oh, yeah, Tattie did super chat $2 for an audio test, and it looks like nobody out there can hear that sound that we hear each time, which is kind of strange because it should be going right through, but it's not. So, we do have Dead Kennedy in space up.
Well, while Tattie's setting up the video, I wanna bring up two things really quickly. Hannah Anderson asked, "What is Red Green?" In 2 sentences, Brainy Beaver, how would you define Red Green? 2 sentences.
Always thinking.
You're muted.
Oh, I'm okay. Sorry, I'm muted. I was talking the whole time. I was like, fucking. I was like, you and Team Skeptic do this to me, apparently. You got to put me on the spot here. 2 sentences. Oh, my God. How would you do it? I mean, you do 2 sentences to put me on the spot.
Okay. Canadian dudes in the woods doing ridiculous things.
Your dad's really ridiculous beer friend, and then way too much duct tape.
Perfect. That's way better.
Like that's honestly like that's the way, because everything's fixed by duct tape. That's the whole show. Like everything can be repaired by duct tape. They're basically they're just a bunch of like handymen that live in the middle of the forest, like worse than Trailer Park Boys. Like they live at they hang out at the lodge, and they have their little drinking corners. But it's basically like, think of the most remote place that you can live, and it's like all of these old guys that are, they don't have a hardware store around, and so everything's just kind of do it yourself. But the way they do it yourself is that's the whole show. Everything is just kind of half-assed, and it's hilarious.
It's great.
Isn't that
and
the
it's
rules
adults?
of
It wasn't
life?
kids. It was adults. What?
Just like Factard just said, keep your stick on the ice, because you used to always say
You realize
that.
You realize I'm showing some red green on my Lex live show now. You realize that, because there's no way I can.
Nice.
I realize I found out apparently people don't know who red green is, and I feel sad inside. But that'd be like saying,
saying that.
I would have to say that we have a video queued up. Then this guy is kind of the red green of the flat Earth community.
Can I ask Kenny one question before we go there, though? I just want to ask him if he thinks red green is the I had it on my mind, is the the Mr. Bean of Canada.
Sorry, who was that to?
Would you say red green is Canada's Mr. Bean?
I missed. Were you asking me?
Yeah. Would you say that red green is Canada's Mr. Bean? Everybody knows who Mr. Bean is in England.
I would say so.
Yeah, Canada, because it's the same kind of thing. It's just fucking ridiculousness, and it's hilarious.
Mr. Bean is less sketch comedy. There's a lot of elements of sketch comedy to Red Green, but it's pretty close in terms of like tone.
But yeah, and I mean even just his notoriety, like his place in the history of Canada and Canadian media, let's say. He's basically our Mr. Bean, as far as I'm concerned.
Definitely.
Anyway, so go ahead. Sorry, I don't want to monopolize. Go ahead. I'm bad for that.
No worries. Before we go to the video, can I just say really quickly, Surf is in the chat, and I haven't seen Surf for sure in a while, and I wanted to say, Surf, I'm sorry I missed your first super chat on my channel. I clicked end stream as you super chatted. So I'm sorry about that, but thank you for the super chat.
I was there. I saw that is how it happened. He was like, oh no, how did that happen? That was such a bummer. But yeah, speaking of Mr. Bean and Red Green and all these absolute buffoon type comedy guys, we've got one of those from the Flat Earth community for us this evening. We've got D Marble, and I think he's going to explain to us why some pics of Saturn are fake, or I don't know, some absolute bullshit. So it should be really funny. I think everybody here ready to tear into something. What do you guys say?
Oh, hell yes.
Roll it.
Jibber.
All right, Tatty, let's roll the garbage and find the crazy.
Being true to form and continuing to release images and ideas to keep people indoctrinated to this spinning ball lie when there's no measurable curvature, there's no detectable motion of the Earth. NASA continues their indoctrination program by releasing this ridiculous image of Saturn. So
I was just about to say pause, and I was on mute.
That's too much all at once. That's all the buzzwords in like 10 seconds, and my brain just kind of melted from it. Like, dude, you are just repeating a script. How do you not realize that?
The thing is,
Go, Monkey,
as
go.
well, is why is he saying NASA? I mean, what does he think? NASA controls the world, and NASA is controlling everybody and feeding everybody information. I mean, what kind of a dumbass is he?
I have a theory about why it's always NASA. I think it's basically that NASA, aside from having, to my knowledge, the biggest budget, SpaceX might be higher, but out of the government space agencies, I think it has the highest budget, and therefore it kind of has the highest visibility, and it's got a couple it's got a couple monumental achievements under its belt as well. Like, it's the only company to have landed on the moon with people, etc. It's currently got the only fully functioning space station, although that is a joint project. But
nobody else has ever landed something on Mars.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Successfully,
because
everything else is left a crater.
Yeah, they're basically the most successful space agency. So the one they're the one they constantly go to. But there's so much shit going on around the world. Like, what was it? 6 months ago, the Bearsheet lander almost made it to the moon. Just a few weeks ago,
China
Chandrayaan
just
2.
unveiled their new lander. They're working on putting.
Yeah,
I'm telling you right now. Why do you think America wants to go back to the moon? There's a lot of lithium in that moon dust, and China wants it because China already owns 80% of the world's lithium, and they would love to have the rest of it on the moon.
Yeah, man.
But they're obsessed with NASA, I think, because they've seen NASA everywhere, and it's honestly so pathetic at this point. They're just like triggered by the very sight of NASA. It's so pathetic.
But
it doesn't make a lot of sense, their idea that NASA, because I've said the same thing before, where the problem is that it would now require NASA to be paying Russia, because Russia's not making any money off this lie anymore. In fact, if anything, they're losing money now off this lie. So now why would Russia, I've said this to multiple flat earthers, why would Russia go out of their way to protect America's secret when they're not even making money? So now you have America having to pay Russia off to keep Russia quiet, because why would they keep that?
Well,
it makes no sense.
You know what the obvious answer is? It's the unifying conspiracy. World government.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still kind of ridiculous to think that they would. So Russia's going to spend their money and degrade their level of economy, and, you know what I mean, and use their money and make it so their people can't, don't have the money left in their own country to help.
But
it's so weird to think.
But in their mind, it's basically all countries are a sham.
Yeah.
So there is a World Bank. I mean, I will give you that the Rothschilds own a lot of shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think it's at all controversial to say the Federal Reserve is kind of fucked up.
Yeah, but when they say things like the one world government thing, they'll jump into things and they'll say things like look at the Rothschilds meet with Tony Blair, and then they'll meet with Hillary Clinton, and they'll meet with Obama, and they'll meet with the president of this country and that country. And I was like, people, the richest of the richest of the rich are probably going to be rubbing elbows with very influential people. That has less to do with one world government and more to do with the fact that that's always been the way it was. Like,
that's how it works.
Never. I mean, Jesus, the peasants. So what? They expect Obama to hang out with us at the community center? That's just not how it's going to work. Like, sorry,
crazy,
he got a private flight given to him. He's staying at a nice little villa on a private island somewhere that with this billionaire that wanted to have him for a weekend.
Like people stay with like people. It's kind of how it works, right? We got the sarcastic barman waiting to get in here.
Oh, I've got one little bit. It's a shame that Anti-Flatter's not here tonight, because we need Yuri to be able to go, in Russia, space on you, or something of equivalent fucking rubbish as he comes out with. But
I can totally do it.
I don't think Russia go on.
In Soviet Russia, space visit you.
Actually, Canadians must be good at doing Russians. In Soviet Russia, like, I actually can do it if I practice a little bit. We used to fuck around just doing Russians. I was terrible.
They not be thinking it being like these, comrades, but is.
That's
nice.
He's brilliant, isn't he?
He is. And then I buzzed in as well, because I think Amy's got a couple of comments from Ugly German Truce and Phil Blacker, because they're fitting.
Perfect.
Yes, I do, actually. And I've got one from Harry Warp. He said, true to form, D-Marble keeps releasing video to indoctrinate people with the flat earth lie. And then Ugly German Truth says, do you see how he's grinning all the while? He knows he's lying and still does it for the YT money and Patreon. And then Phil Blacka says, do us shills from the UK get paid by the UK Space Agency?
Yes, not enough.
Yeah, I wish.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wanted to touch on something you said.
Hold on. One sec there, Monkey. Tommy, I heard your robot a bit. Do that audio restart again there, buddy. All good. Sorry, Monk. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, so, Beaver, you said, do you think there's a space race now then?
Were you talking about to the moon? Absolutely.
We're
like
a space race.
Oh yeah, we're in another little Cold War right now too. That's the other thing people don't realize.
Yeah.
America and China are in a Cold War currently.
Yeah,
there's a military race occurring as well.
Yeah, I'm aware of that as
What do you think the whole Huawei thing's about? It's a technological Cold War. America's and it's happening. America's not been here. I hate to say this, and I'm sorry to all the Americans listening, but you have not been investing in your country, and so because of that, what's happened is that American ingenuity is falling by the wayside, and China's really good at stealing technology. So because of the fact that America is not inventing at the rate that they used to invent, because there's less education being tossed around in America. It's only the wealthy getting good educations and stuff. So because of that, it's resulted in basically there's less innovation happening, and China's stealing your technology as fast as you are innovating it. So what's happening is it's resulting in China is catching up to you very aggressively, and they actually expect China's got a program called China 2025 or China something 2025, and what they're doing is they're heavily investing within their own country in education, in companies, and building up for instance, 80% of all their semiconductors are purchased from America, but they expect that by 2025 they're going to produce almost 100% of them in country.
Bloody hell.
So it's happening right now. And why do you think Trump? He's not wrong about everything. His approach is terrible, but he's not wrong about trying to contain China. The thing is, that's what the TPP was about, and of course, by doing it, they're just anyways. That's politics. But the space race thing, that's what's happening. That's what this is all about. The trade war, everything. It's about China is catching up to America, and America is worried. And even militarily, China's just released new missiles that go so fast that apparently they're not targetable. So I mean, it's happening.
I think this will definitely be a subject for a full video on its own. This would be.
Yeah.
That's a good
and
idea.
Speaking of video,
I'm very
I think
informed on politics, so I'm sorry that I always go there. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I think speaking of video, I think we've gone a little further than this one even goes. Tattie, why don't we play a little more? Yeah.
Play more. Yeah. We went off target. That's my fault mostly. I'm terrible.
Nah, man, it was awesome. Let's crack on.
It's our article here. Man, Hubble just captured a breathtaking new image of Saturn, and it barely looks real. Now, here, let me get in a little bit closer. It barely looks real. They actually put that in the headline. You should be insulted if you actually believe this stuff. But anyway, Hubble has captured a new image of Saturn that makes you wonder if it's even real. Oh my God, the image is so crisp it may.
Guys, I'm not hearing a word he's saying. Everybody's talking throughout it, and I'm not hearing a word he's saying.
Really? I can hear.
Okay. It was loud enough in my headphones. It's probably different to each of us somehow. We'll have to fix that. Jesus.
What he said was,
he was saying it was barely. All he was saying is that he was reading the title, and he was saying it looks so great, it looks barely real. And I love how they just pull that out, like you said. He sure read between those lines. They put it right there in the, like they were sure hiding that from you.
Yeah.
Well,
Tommy, you wanted in there.
That. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
it's what I always say. It looks so real, it got to be fake. Just like the photos from the guy who was in
the Rocket Man car
yesterday. He said everything looks fake, and it was
For the
photos
record.
from what is his name? Yeah, I'm gonna find his name.
Elon Musk
seen
said that
Saturn
about the
with-
car in space, didn't he?
Oh, they love that quote though. They love it. They love it.
Yeah.
But I've seen Saturn with my own little tiny terrible little telescope. So and it it didn't have that color, because if anybody knows how wavelengths and light works, color is one of the last things that you're gonna get if you got a little aperture. So it was black and white mostly, but you could see that exact image he was just showing. I could see that. It was just very small, but you could clearly make out Saturn, its ring. You could see the rings around it, and you could see all the little dots shining around it of its moons.
Yeah.
And I've done the same thing with Jupiter. I've seen Jupiter's red spot. I've seen it's very small, black and white, but it's there. You could clearly see the lines that make up the clouds of Jupiter. I mean, this idea of them saying, "Oh, you need special equipment." This telescope is $250.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen these things with my own eyes as well, with my own telescope. And a friend of mine, I used to see years ago, he had an amazing telescope, and looking through that was just mind-blowing compared to mine. So same, I've seen them with my own eyes. It's just like, it's ridiculous. And what annoys me is when they do it with a camera. They get a P1000 and zoom in and like and then criticize it. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh, Jut, come on, Jut. That's not a star. That's not a planet. Look, it's a big orb that shines different.
Yeah.
Because it's out of focus.
Yeah, not using the right gear at all. We got Logical Troglodyte's been waiting here.
Yeah, that's a reporter making that headline. He's being slightly poetic and he's grabbing your attention with a headline so that you read the darn story. What's the matter with these idiots? And yeah, he's sort of right. It barely looks real. But let's face it, your eyes evolved and were born on a freaking planet with rocks and trees and hills that give you a sense of distance and scale. And when you get out into space, all of that's gone and your eyes are saying, where's my sense of scale? I need the scale. So yeah, that's kind of how it works.
Yeah.
They don't get none of it.
He's not a real flat earther anyways. D is such a liar. There's no way it's a career for him at this point.
I'm thinking it could very well be for sure. Dead Kennedy's been waiting here. We better get to him.
I think that's possible with what Brainy said with just the way he parroted that opening bit. It sounded like he was just going through the motions. But to add to the whole the title of the article, is it possible that was written by a person who is aware of these spaces fake conspiracy and just thought, I'll throw in a little jab at them? Because I swear I know NASA has done that before. There is footage of astronauts mocking flat earthers in a Soyuz capsule. It's the funniest thing in the world. And also about Saturn, when we the best thing about seeing Saturn with your own eyes with a telescope is with the telescope you can see the rings shadow or the shadow of the planet on the rings.
That's right.
Confirming 1000% that it is a three-dimensional object and not a light in the sky.
Absolutely.
Boom. Mic drop.
Exactly. Amy's got some. Nope, I did it too quick on you. Yeah, maybe she's ready. We'll see. There she is.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm sorry about that. The stupid button. Gary Graham had a comment. I have a couple. It says Elon Musk has rebooted the space race because he can afford to. If he succeeds, NASA's funding will go through the roof. And then Casual Spaceman said there is a weird kind of space race with China and NASA, but also with the commercial space companies like SpaceX coming through. Then throw a European space agency into the mix. And then also the Casual Spaceman wanted to ask Brainy Beaver if he would love to do a collab with the politics of the space race with him. Maybe a live stream and they can geek out about it.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Can I be part of that? That sounds amazing.
That sounds like a fun time.
We should do that. We'll figure that out. We'll plan it.
Awesome.
I've got a 3K coming up right soon. Maybe that should be something. Maybe we could do that on my channel or something like that. I'm so close. I'm so close.
Good idea.
Who wants to be part of the dream? I'm within, I think, 60.
Oh, I'm in. Absolutely.
Subscribe to Brainy Beaver. Get him to 3K.
Awesome.
I'm already there.
I'm in the doldrum mud before 3K. I'm just kind of dragging along on that. You guys ever read the doldrums, or what was that book? It was where the kid goes into the. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah, I don't remember offhand. But yeah, maybe we should let D Marble froth at the mouth a bit more and show us the true level of his insanity or poism. We'll see what it is here. All set, Tattie?
Maybe.
Yeah, we'll see.
It makes it look like Saturn is just floating in space, which it is. The image of the ringed planet was captured when Saturn was at its closest to the Earth, some 1.36 billion kilometers away, or 845 million miles, on June 20th, 2019. The crisp image was captured with Hubble's Wide Field Camera, WFC-3. In further observation, again, I mean, there are moons orbiting around Saturn, of course. I mean, people have said that they've caught these things on film and all that. And yeah, if this is the...
Yeah, that's shutter speed.
No doubt. Would you care to explain it at all, Tommy? Bring us up to speed here.
Well, if you have a short shutter speed, you will catch the moment. If you have a long shutter speed, you will everything will be a blur of the movements. So then the moons will be invisible.
Exactly. I mean, the man has to be able to Google and figure this out. It's really hard to believe sometimes. We got a few guys on the list here. Sarcastic Barman. Oh.
Maybe not.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute myself. I'm as bad as everyone else. I blame Kiri for not being here. Hashtag Kiri's fault. But
Kiri's
he's
fault.
basically being a knob, really, isn't he? This isn't something that he needs NASA or any other space agency to do. As Monkey said earlier, get yourself a fucking telescope. You can see this shit yourself. Then you can see and go, oh, yeah, there are sort of moons. I can see them. I can see the shadow and all that shit.
Exactly.
He doesn't need to spend a fucking fortune. He just needs to stop being a bloody tit, really.
Did anyone see Simon Dan's video recently? And he showed a clip of Saturn coming out from behind the moon. Awesome.
Yeah. Or
missed that. Sounds more cool.
When he had pictures from Geist View, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good one indeed. Very, very good. We've got Dead Kennedy on.
Yeah. I just want to. I think flat earthers need to really pay attention to the words they're using, because D Marble just said, of course, there are moons orbiting around Saturn. Orbit means gravity by definition. So he has admitted to gravity and gravitational orbits. All we need now is confirmation of spherical objects.
That's hilarious, because he really did. What a great catch, man. That's excellent. Oh, man. Well, Mr. Tattie, what do you think, buddy? Shall we play a little bit more of this, I don't know, diaper fill and see where it goes next?
Clear, crisp image of the Hubble. Well, I would have to ask, where are the stars? But this is a question that we always ask. But hey, this is space. There are different things going on out there. I mean, we can see stars from Earth, but if you expect to see stars from space, I mean, that's just craziness. Anyway, this is
We got Barman up right away.
Seriously, I want to do that, but for how much Kennedy shouted out when it fucking said it, I'm going to give it to Kennedy, because he's going to rip that better than I could at this point.
All right, Dead Kennedy.
Well, I was actually just now typing a link here. There we go. I'm going to put it in the chat. This is what is known as a Pratt, a point refuted 1,000 times. Camera.
Awesome.
This is how cameras work. They're like, try and get a clear picture of the moon, a really nice clear picture of the moon and stars. I dare you. Just try and do it. That's all I got really.
Yeah.
Like you could use two different cameras and put the pictures together, but now you photoshopped it CGI.
I have a wonderful set of pictures that I used in one video that one of them has the I'm not the best with camera terms, so if I mess this up, I'm sorry. At a faster shutter speed, the moon comes out crisp and clear and there's no stars, and at a slower shutter speed, you can see a few stars in the corners of the image, but like 80% of it is just a bright white blur from the moon.
Right.
Yep.
I don't know what you'd call that other than shutter speed, unless you were going to say aperture speed.
Exposure.
Even that when you got
exposure, yes.
Good job.
That's
good
it.
call.
That's it.
See, I would have fucked it up too.
Yeah, exposure, that's it. You know, the longer the exposure, the more light it collects, you know, basically trying to emulate like a reflector.
Oh, no, I knew
telescope
you were
on
right
the
the
end.
second you said the word. I just never would have pulled that word up for some reason.
Yeah. Oh, it
Yeah,
wasn't
it
me
also
that
has
said it. I couldn't remember at the moment either.
You can also have the my memory fails me. Just continue.
No worries, get it in next time. I'm sure he's going to stay on the same freaking subject for a while. And speaking of subject, what do you say there, Tattie? Should we kick it in again here and see where he goes?
that wouldn't be out of place on a gallery wall. Oh my. As long as the gallery was curated by a space nerd. But it's more than just pretty. It's scientific. This is science. There's science here, people. Hey, hold on to your hats. Here, this is a scientific photo because they say so. The image is part of a program called Outer Planet Atmosphere's Legacy, or OPAL. OPAL's goal is to accumulate long baseline imagery of our solar system's gas planet or gas giant planets to help us understand their atmospheres over time. This is the second yearly picture of Saturn as part of the OPAL program. Good Lord. Saturn always looks so placid, stately even. But closer inspection reveals a lot going on there. When we think of storms and gas giants, we usually think of Jupiter with its prominent horizontal storm bands and, of course, the Great Red Spot. But Saturn is very active.
That great red spot is a streak across the planet there, so that's long shutter speed. Yeah, it's not spot; it's just a line.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. Barman, take it.
Oh, I was just going to say, all the rubbish he's saying, he's just basically reading the article. He's got nothing of his own mind to add to it on why it's fake, because he knows we can see the planet. It's just like, oh, I'm just going to insinuate that it's not real because I can't actually say anything about it being not real. It's like we can insinuate he hasn't got a brain. We can't prove he hasn't, but the stuff he says sorts of leads us towards him not having one.
I'll tell you what, though, to actually try and deny that something is, not there that anyone can fucking look at.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't even cost that much to get a decent view. It really doesn't.
You could make it out with a pair of binoculars, a good pair of binoculars. You just about make out the shape.
Yeah, it's and Dead Kennedy in Space, who I'm about to turn to. You're loving your astronomy and life. I mean, this just isn't hard, is it?
A few weeks ago, I was walking out late at night in a light polluted city. I couldn't see that much in the way of too many stars, but I could see one very, very bright star near the horizon. And so I pulled out this app called Sky Safari and took a look, and that was Jupiter. And I looked really closely at it just with my bare eye, and I swear to God, it didn't look like a circle. It looked like a kind of blob, almost as though I could make out the faintest bit of the moons with my naked eye. I'm not sure if that's actually what I was seeing or if it was just, maybe my brain wanting to see that, but it was right there, and I could see it with my naked eye. Also, I call Poe. This dude is making, a 10-minute video out of just reading the article. He's not doing anything. This is the laziest thing ever.
Yeah, I agree with you. And is it just me, or does he sound and look absolutely bored? I remember when D Marble actually had some entertaining videos and he was animated, and whether I laughed at him or not, he was engaging. He knew how to use it. He's just bored. But at this point, he's been spouting this crap on social media so long, he's almost gonna have to keep spouting it, because do you think he's really hireable in a real job? When people look him up and say, "Oh shit, really? You've been saying all this stuff for we don't want you working here." So where is there to go for him? Other than cartoon conspiracies at this point.
Yeah, because they do that now, don't they? Companies, they do check your social media.
Oh yeah. Big time. Amy needs to jump in here. Amy, what do you got for us?
Yes, we got another super chat from 9 o'clock Hero for £9.99. He says, kind of more interested in how his hydrocell is performing in his car. And then I have a couple comments. And the casual spaceman for Dead Kennedy, £2, 33s. So we've got that. And then we've got Mr. Victory says, I thought D saw stars all the time from what he was smoking. And Flight Pass said the Shills and Dick Dawson. I just shared a 30-second exposure photo of the moon. If you want to go back to that again, and that's it.
All right, cool. Yeah, and I do want to touch on 9 o'clock Hero Super Chat. Thank you very much, by the way. Kind of more interested in how his Hydrocell is performing in his car. Is he one of those guys that thinks that spray injection is a Hydrocell or something? 9 o'clock Hero, is that what he's going? I'll have to go over and have a look, but I bet he's one of those guys that's just doing absolute nonsense. And with the Casual Spaceman, I think that 3333 is a reference to the fact that Dead Kennedy in Space is about to have 3,333 subs. So let's try to get a screenshot of that, everybody. If you happen to be that sub, let us know. That would be really cool.
If anybody gets that screenshot, send it to me so that I can spread it everywhere and everybody just spam the shit out of 33UC with it.
Oh, yes. It's on. The Sarcastic Barman's up.
This is slightly off topic. I've just been sent it by Gary Graham, the amazing Gary G, who did my amazing glasses, about a cannabis man jailed. I'm going to read the start and then you can laugh your tits off. A Wigan convict's secret stash of cannabis, which he hid inside his body, was discovered by a metal detecting chair on his arrival at jail. Anthony Riley was being admitted to Forest Bank Prison in Salford, where he set off the high-tech scanners alarm. Obviously, it's not the real Anthony Riley. Well, I don't think so.
Yeah, I found that.
But that's amusing as fuck. Sorry.
Oh, no, I agree. It is indeed. Dead Kennedy in Space.
Barman, did you say something about... Did you get some glasses from Gary Graham?
I did, yes. I put them in my last video. I've had some shot glasses and pint glasses off him. They're bloody awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I got
in the chat earlier. And, he wants to make a couple for my channel as well, some whiskey glasses, and I wanted to shout him out and say thank you. Gary Graham is awesome. Subscribe to him.
Yeah, I got my glass through, so thank you very much. And also, I think it was Colon that sent that Anthony Riley prison article to me. I'm sure it was him.
Hilarious.
That would make sense. That would definitely make sense.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think, guys? Should we let D
Video time.
mumble on a bit more?
It is well. Thanks to Opal program, we know that a large hexagonal storm in the planet's northern polar region has disappeared. Just okay. And smaller storms come and go frequently. And there are also subtle changes in the planet's storm bands, which are largely ammonia ice at the top. But some features have persisted. Cassini spied a hexagonal storm at Saturn's North Pole, and that storm is still there. In fact, the Voyager 1 spacecraft was first to spot that feature back in 1981. That's insane. Mostly, though, this new Hubble image of Saturn is just...
I mean, why the fuck does he laugh every single time it's like, you know, something that he wants to deny? It's like a little laugh, man. It winds me up. I want to.
It's because he can't deny it.
Fucking tail.
Yeah.
Just like Red Pill philosophy, he'll also do that.
Oh, it's annoying.
Yeah, it's definitely a covering mechanism of sorts. Absolutely. Dead Kennedy.
I was going to say it's one of two things. It's either this is ultimate argument from incredulity and he actually thinks laughing at it is a good retort, or he's a Poe and he's just going through the motions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the latter sounds more like it.
Yeah, Phil Blacka from the chat says, D Marble ain't enjoying being a flat tard no more. Look at his face. And it's right. Look at him. You know, it just looks like he's absolutely sick of being beaten to death in the comments by people who actually know what they're talking about. You know, he just looks defeated.
Well, Mercedes-Benz has changed his angle, hasn't he? He does film reviews now, M-Benz.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's out.
I don't know why on earth you'd do that to make money. Why not do this?
It's more fun doing this as well.
If only
It's always
he
better
knew.
when you don't have to lie for a living.
Sorry, if only he knew the power he could have being a debunker who is an ex-flat earther. That people would kill to see that. I would anyway.
Oh yeah, this is how I became a Globie.
It's actually D-Marble's fault I'm here. Because he was the
Tommy,
first
go ahead.
video I saw. Yeah, it's actually D-Marble's fault I'm here because it was his video I saw first year and a half ago. The Earth is flat. So he's the first guy I saw.
Oh well, there you go. We have to thank him for meeting you then. D-Marble, you dumb knob cheese wank spanner. Thank you very much.
No wonder he took down all his flat Earth content then, because if anybody saw that, they wouldn't trust his opinion on much else afterwards. That's for damn sure. I mean, you know.
What, M. Benz?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was gutted because I was just about to do a 6-part series debunking his 6-part series that debunked the globe. Put one video out and then all his videos vanished. I was gutted.
Yeah, that sucks.
Haven't they all debunked the globe? Like, have you ever met one who doesn't make that claim?
Oh yeah. Either that or
Hip Hop Hippie said he beat me in our debate. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Which is hilarious. You schooled him, and I don't know. Did you see the most recent debate between him, FTFE, and Team Skeptic?
I watched part of it live.
Man, that guy is
apologized for what he was. He was feeling uncomfortable. He's better now, but he apologized to globe earthers and flat earthers alike.
Really? What I didn't quite catch what happened then. What was the honestly? What did I saw a bit of it, but I was busy that night. So what was the whole? So I know he got kind of booted in the end. Really.
He Team Skeptic went off pretty hard, and I'm thinking, was he apologizing for that? Because it was awesome.
It was awesome.
Maybe he went off hard. What do you mean? Like he tore a strip off him? You mean? Or
he was just ferocious.
Well, I saw him giving him shit for not bringing anything to the table yet again, and they told him to basically fuck right off and not to bother coming back. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. I get it. So he apologized for not, like bringing his A game basically and just phoning it in. Is that what he's saying?
I don't know, because he didn't so much phone it in. He was just really vicious. But I don't.
Who are we talking about right now? Fight? I thought you were talking about.
Are we saying Fight apologized? Because that
no. I was saying that I think that we've gotten our wires totally crossed here. What I'm trying to say, I heard you guys are saying that Hip Hop Hippie apologized, but but what was he apologizing for? I was saying, was he because he was being a bitch?
No, I don't think he apologized.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys tell us what happened again, because obviously something went haywire here.
That's why I buzzed.
Okay. Yeah, the Snark's trying to buzz in here, so let's give him the show.
I said that that Team apologized, and why he did that is he obviously felt the way he felt, and he thought he was coming on too strong. That's what he did, and whatever he did, he felt bad about it, so he apologized. That was all.
Okay.
I see. I did catch Team tearing a bit of a strip off of it. I guess that makes sense.
I mean, it was more over the top than usual, but I wouldn't say it was over the line. But I understand where he's coming from.
I didn't think it was over the line myself. I heard that.
Team's in the chat right now, and he said, yeah, I went hard into Triple H, but I didn't do it for the entertainment value. I did it because I lost my temper. And there's a difference there. He wasn't just showboating. He just snapped because the guy's an idiot. Dang.
Okay.
That's it, man. Yeah.
I didn't think that's the thing. When I did hear that. I was there for that. And I think I just sat down at that point actually and got there just to see that even. And I do remember thinking like, well, that sounds about right. Like fucking Hip Hop Hippie, Because I mean, Jesus, look at mine. He came to it's like, so 10-minute presentation. He's like, it's bitch is flat, What do you do?
That was amazing. And then he says like, that's it. And everyone was just like, really?
Like, I guess I'll feed the rest of my time. It's like, all right.
I told FTF had new content. They always do, but that's just to get the attention.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, they'll never bring him on, right?
And they roll in the old hats.
Yeah, he kind of came in as somebody who had just slipped on a banana because, like, he had nothing. It had all fallen from his hands. It was bad.
They never prepare anything. You tell them about the debate, about the format, and they don't understand anything.
No, you're right.
We had that fourth
this-
dimension guy last night. He was prepared. He even had a model, but he got teared apart.
Yeah. The best flat Earth model I've ever seen in my life so far. Well, I haven't, but I'm sure it would have to come from a model shop and, like, somebody put it together with glue and whatnot, because that's the only way this is going to work.
Hey, some of those ones that were made for Mark Sargent, they're really nice. They're like neat little dioramas and everything. They don't work for shit, but they're nice.
True.
Yeah. They look nice, but I mean, when you just know what it represents, you just wouldn't have it, would you?
No, as soon as you compare the length of the tropics, they should be equal, and they're obviously not. So who wins?
Yeah, and all you have to do is, like, anybody who does any sort of cartography style stuff in real life knows that when you look at the AE projection map, most of it is just horrifically wrong. I mean, it's just, it's a projection, you morons. You can't try to say it's real. What are you saying?
Can I say something about that?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I saw a video by Mark Sargent. I don't know which one it was. And then he said, obviously, something about the globe this and the globe that, and here's our flat Earth model. And then he slipped in a picture, a shot of Australia in the globe Earth representation. So it's obviously not the flat Earth map. So you can see that he's lying.
Wow.
There and then.
Wow, that's just such a disingenuous thing to do. Like, and you're going to get caught. Make it obvious. Crazy.
Flat Earth are nearly synonym.
Yeah, that's well said. Well said.
As I said
indeed.
last time, I made my fair share of 3D models in SketchUp, and I need to make a new model for each theory I'm going to test for, because no two theories can fit the model at the same time. It's just impossible.
Mm-hmm. And yet they don't even know how to make a basic one of anything. But, when you got some of these guys arguing about, your model. I mean, if AB Science was here, he would laugh, because they don't understand how to even build a model. They can't account for the things needed to make sure that their model would actually be functional, and as such give predictions that would work. It's a joke. I mean, it's an absolute joke. They'll never do it.
Then you have Steven Steen and Gary Benga.
Oh, no.
We don't live on a model.
Yeah, that's funny.
I tell you what, though, Tommy, I like what you've done. With the models and showing
Thanks.
the moon and that. You've done some awesome stuff.
Damn right.
Thank you.
Gary Debunks, that's what I call him, because originally it's a name from the Netherlands, from Groningen. So I simply call him Debunks. And in one chat, I called him everybody's favorite troll. He was not amused.
I like it. Oh, that's good stuff. Right on. Well, what do you think, Tattie? Should we have a little more of this absolute fool for everybody to point and laugh at? And then, we
You
can tear
took
into
the
a bit
words
more?
right out of my mouth, son.
No.
All right, set it up.
Even if you knew nothing about Saturn, its beauty would draw you in. We're going to talk about that in a second. Okay, so they superimposed the moons in, apparently. This is good work on the graphics department. Still need to add some stars, though, for further realism. NASA also released an annotated, more informational version of the Hubble image. All right. There we go. NASA also released a time-lapse video of Hubble images of Saturn. It shows the moons, or at least a few of Saturn's 60-plus moons as they orbit around the gas giant. It's made up of 33 separate images taken on June 19th and 20th, 2019. 33 separate images. Just going to pause for a second there.
Fuck me. Okay, DeadKennedyInSpace, run with it, buddy.
Numerology is bullshit. end of. They're just numbers. Have you ever heard of the 27 Club? There's far more credibility to that as a conspiracy than anything related to 33. In case anyone doesn't know, tomorrow's Friday, right? Yeah, tomorrow I am going to be absolutely fucking annihilating 33 UC. I am going to nail that little bitch into the ground and show you all why numerology is bullshit.
Oh,
Yes,
wicked,
I can't
man.
wait.
Wicked.
I can't wait. Tommy's waiting. Tommy, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I finally found the word. It's dynamic range. That's why I don't see stars and stuff, because a camera has just a limited dynamic range. That's the ability to capture light. Our eyes are much better at that one, to see the difference between dark and light. So stars just don't happen on a picture.
Okay, so you don't.
Well
you
done,
have
well
to be
done.
very-
Awesome.
Yeah, excellent. Very good point.
You're a smart man.
Photographer.
There you go. You know your shit.
All right. Awesome.
Should we crack on with this video, or anyone got
yes.
anything else to say?
Oh yeah, sure.
No, I think it's. Oh, go. Sorry. Go.
Oh well, I just wanted to throw that in. I saw Tau Ceti Alpha in the chat, and there's one point I always like to make. Tau Ceti Alpha's flat Earth's full retard mode cannot be done the other way around. No flurfer can ever produce a Globy's full retard mode, can they?
Absolutely not. Well said.
That's a good point. That's a really good point, and a good show too, because Tau Ceti Alpha's full retard mode is unbelievable.
Oh
my God,
funny
he's so
as
good.
hell, man.
It is.
Yeah, he is amazing.
As they say, Dane and Grommet, it curls up your toes, but it's still hilarious.
Yeah.
Speaking of hilarious, Team Skeptic in the chat, I pulled a bunch of pubes off my balls, and what do you know? There were 33 of them. That was a good one. Jesus Christ.
I can use it as a beard because it doesn't grow beard.
Yeah.
Well, me and Beaver are 33, so we just sketch him right out. I am the conspiracy, goddammit.
Well, I've sat and picked 33 fleas off of my family and eaten them.
And I'm
Team
a good
Skeptic,
Canadian, so I like 33 beers in a weekend. That works for me.
Team Skeptic, that guy who had the debate with the fourth dimension guy, he did the same thing. He pulled his pubes off and used it as a beard.
Nice.
That's funny. Well, what do you think, guys? Shall we kick into a little bit more D-Marvel before we start counting other things below the belt here?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Why would they use the number 33? It's almost like Saturn is not Saturn. It's like NASA's kind of, I don't know, infested with Freemasons. Nah, that couldn't possibly be. Anyway, what else we got here? Yeah, that's the end of the article. Okay, so yeah, I already asked the question, where are the stars in this crisp, crystal clear image that they provided to us? And another question that was brought up a long time ago is if the Hubble can take this beautiful image of Saturn, and this is where posting this picture on Facebook or
I'd like to play Nostradamus for a moment. I'm going to predict what he's about to say.
Yeah.
If the Hubble can take these amazingly clear images of Saturn, why can't it turn around and do the same thing to Earth or the Moon? That's what he's about to ask.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You win. And I'm about to smack him for it.
And the obvious answer will be you don't use a pair of binoculars to read your newspaper.
Good one. Now, before we prove Kevin Kennedy right, let's get to the barman here.
Well, I forgot to unmute. Even if they did turn it round and release the images from NASA, look, here is images of Earth from the Hubble Space Telescope. All that
CGI.
they're going to do is go, no, they're fake, they're CGI. I mean, we have a live stream of Earth from space. It's called the ISS. That is basically streaming, 23 and a half hours a day? There's little bits where they go out or whatever. But yeah, that is streaming all the time with views of Earth.
And the Himawari's streaming a full view of Earth, arguably. It's every 10 minutes or something?
Yeah.
50, something like that.
But like if you used your head, you could take photographs of cloud cover when that stream is going overhead, and then compare it.
But that's the whole trouble.
Weights on the world.
They don't use their head.
Yeah, not even close. Holy.
No, because they're too busy trying to find their fucking brain cell.
Well, pull it out of their rectum, maybe.
Yes, that is a poop chute, not a suitcase. Don't carry your brains in there, people. Holy.
Or as Dick Dawson says, that shit flap you call a mouth.
I have said that a few times. You are
You
right.
have, my friend.
Oh man.
Lovely.
Well, speaking of a shit flat mouth, so we let this what is it? Finish his video.
Wrap it up.
Can I say one thing really quick?
Yeah.
There's a great comment from Cliff Burnham. This is like my favorite thing. Sarcastic, I forgot to unmute Barman.
Yeah. Normally I don't mute myself at all. And because I've got my vape today, I thought I'll mute a bit more often so I'm not overstepping and things like that. And because I hardly ever mute, I'm forgetting to unmute.
See, we've got the position in life your wife wishes she had, because when you're talking to us, you're always muted.
I can't get a word in edgeways with my wife anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Right, so at least you get to here. That's always nice. So yeah, Tatty, why don't you serve up shit flap and we'll see what comes out of his mouth.
Would cause the hardcore globe believers to attach pictures of Saturn that they've taken with their own personal telescope and or camera from this exact angle, showing Saturn exactly like this, except it's a little less defined, a little grainy, but still it's the image of Saturn as seen from Earth at this angle that you're seeing right now. So a question would be, if Hubble was between the Earth and Saturn, taking this crisp image of Saturn, why is it that they don't just turn the Hubble around every now and then and give us a good, crisp, clear image of space or of the Earth? I mean, if it's out in space, it's obviously, taking this picture.
Bullseye.
How painfully goddamn predictable is flat Earth?
No. I think we all need a round of cows here. No.
Absolute travel.
Absolute.
God.
Yeah, go on, Tatty. Give us a quick rant. Yeah, Del style.
Angleberry.
Oh, we got that echo back.
Yep, I'm going away again.
That echo. Bummer. We'll have to fix that after, buddy. Yeah, what are you gonna do? Oh man, that's too funny. That is too funny. Cynthia Vicious. Flirfs are a waste of Dick Dawson's pretty radio voice. Well, thank you very much. I agree entirely. Fuck them. Every single one of them. Oh man.
You are a sexy man, Dick.
Bringing it hard and fast too, right to the flirfs. Dick Dawson on alert, ready for action.
With his
The thing you
crazy
said about the angle towards
ripping their
Saturn.
heads off.
That was a good one. Oh man. Did he finish, or was there any more to that video?
I thought Tommy had something to say there. Do you?
Yeah, he said about the angle we had to Saturn to take the picture in that angle. Can we choose what angle, or just stuck on there on Earth? Go around
Yeah,
the other side,
exactly.
a bit left. No.
No, his angle of attack was 15 degrees of stupid.
We cannot choose the angle towards Saturn. We just had to go what we have. That's it.
I actually don't think that you could get the same angle as the Hubble from Earth. It'd be slightly different. I'd say, because obviously where Hubble is, and all, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's not that far away, and stuck here on Earth, we can't choose the angle. We just have to go what we have. So
absolutely, yeah, it's just there, and that's the end of it. and it's just baffling, isn't it, that these idiots just fucking. I mean, he's just denying. What is his point to this? Anyone could look at the bleeding thing. It's up there.
You know, I just looked it up really quickly. The Hubble is at an orbit height of 353 miles. So, yeah, imagine turning a telescope around to read a book that's 3 feet from you.
That is pretty good. I wouldn't doubt that the scale is actually close too. Scale. Oh man, is that one that they don't understand. Whew, I opened a can of worms just saying a word. That's crazy. There is a bit of that video, guys. What do you think? Shall we get to it?
Yeah.
No, might as well
can I
finish
just
it.
say one thing?
Yeah.
It would actually be cool though if they could turn it round on Earth and, like, you know, see where you are.
Yeah.
See how good it is.
But they would literally be able to. Yeah, you'd be looking at my shoes or some shit. It would be crazy.
I know, man. Just to see how how good it is. It'd be wicked.
Yeah.
Anyway, crack on.
All right, let's do it.
From our perspective here on Earth, why don't they just do a 180, zoom in on Earth, and give us a time lapse? Well, shoot, I mean, isn't that what they did here, or did they just? Let me see. Did they just say? Hold up, that's one more thing. Oh yeah, NASA also released a time lapse video of Hubble images of Saturn. Why would they not release a time lapse of anything going on Earth? Just turn the thing around. Why wouldn't they do that? Anyway, that's just another question for these folks. But funny.
He's acting like they need to do that to prove that that we live on a globe. No one gives a shit, mate. You know, you're just entertainment to people like us. Do you really think they give a fuck about showing you the Earth with the Hubble, which basically you'd fucking say was CGI anyway, even if it was filming your own face? You'd say, no, man, they got a photograph of me and...
Perfect. Oh, did we lose the monkey there? Shit. Take it, Snark. Go for it.
John Rapp, $5 Australian. My entertainment and tutorial fees. Dance for me, boys and girls. And I knew I saw the beautiful curve in the intro. Yes, you did.
That's funny. That's a good one. Right on. Thank you, John Rapp. Good one indeed. DeadKennedyInSpace, you're up, buddy.
I was gonna piggyback on what Monk was saying, the whole nobody cares thing. I did this in 7 Stupid Things Flat Earthers Do, like one of my really early videos, where I point out that they always assume NASA and other space agencies' objectives match their own, and they don't. They're like, nobody at any space agency gives a shit about flat earthers because they know space exists. They work in it for a living.
No doubt.
So it basically all started. I realized that this was a common thing with them in my very first debate with one, in which a guy was arguing that there's no proof of satellites because there's no clear pictures of them in outer space. And he goes, why don't they just do that? Put a selfie stick on a satellite, launch it up there, and take a picture so we can see it. And my response
when we do it, they don't believe it. So we show them a picture of a fucking car up there, and they're like, "Oh, it looks real."
That's a good point. They wouldn't believe it anyway. But my argument was, why would anyone spend money to satisfy people like you?
The problem is that selfie stick doesn't have a selfie stick. That's it.
The thing is, it's like we always have to prove it to them. You know, it's like you know, no matter how much proof you shove down their fucking throats, they just don't get it. They just deny it, or it's just like, what's the point, you bunch of idiots, man? You are just absolutely blind, stupid.
Yeah, and in this whole situation, when it comes to proof, let's be honest here. Everybody on both sides of the discussion, the burden of proof is on the flat Earth community because we have centuries of information that shows that we know what we're talking about. You bear the burden of proof, so bring it. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. They act like it's like the starting point is flat. No, we know it's a globe. You want to say it's flat, then just be an idiot and try and prove something that you can't, basically.
Exactly. Let's get the sarcastic barman into this.
Well, basically the same as Monkey said. It doesn't matter what evidence we give them. We put someone on the moon. No, it's fake. We put a load more people on the moon. No, it's still fake. We have satellites in orbit that you get signal from. No, they're just weather balloons, okay? We have a space station. No, it's fake. We have people on spacewalks. No, they're really underwater. What do you want from blinking NASA? I mean, for God's sake, it doesn't matter what is presented to these flat earthers. They are so stuck in their own ways that it's like, no. I think all flat earthers, all they really want is they want to go into space, and they've come up with this idea. If we lie our ass off enough saying it's not true, they'll send us into space. Yes, we will. We'll put you on a rocket one way to the goddamn sun, mate, because you are just annoying as crap.
Oh shit! I was going to say, is that right? Because if that's, if there's a chance I'd go into space, I would go around saying the Earth is flat. I'd do anything to go into space.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. That might just be worth it, actually, right? Holy. Well, the show's getting on in time here. Does any? Sorry, did I just cut somebody off there? Damn it! I hate when I do that.
Sorry, I was going to add to what Barman was saying. That reminds me. I've been having a thought lately that I've been mulling over in my mind. If we could find a true flat earther, someone who's not a Poe and hopefully isn't an asshole, like maybe like Earth is seriously flat. That guy's actually not too bad. He's the guy who donates to FTFE stream. If we could find someone like that and buy them a Virgin Galactic ticket when that becomes a thing, would that be worth it? To see if it would turn them around or not?
Definitely not.
No, because what they'll do is they'll kick him from the community and call him a liar. They won't believe him.
Well,
they'll call it control. They'll call it
they don't
control
believe
opposition.
him. Yeah, I don't so much care that they don't believe him. I just want to see if I could personally contribute to the deconversion of a flat earther.
Yeah, Philip called Roberts in the chat suggesting in-RAM, but he's already high, so yeah.
Yeah, that guy's
Can
crazy.
I make another point? Can I make another
Yeah.
point? It's like this. Flat earthers are missing so much. They cannot appreciate a movie like Gravity or have fun with xkcd.com or on Facebook. I fucking love science. Or one of my favorites is listen to Dr. Becky on YouTube without a nagging feeling, it's all fake, I'm being controlled. I mean, what kind of life is that?
Do you know what?
Yeah.
I said exactly the same. I said some of these that are into everything, like chemtrails and, all anti-vaxxers, their lives must be tragically terrifying all the time. You go outside and you've got like, I don't know, someone like ODD TV, he's your dad and he's going mental like, there's a plane, get inside, we're getting chemtrail to fuck, duck for cover, don't drink the water.
That is out of the charts. Now, we've had a bit of a connection issue with Amy, but she's back and proper. Amy, what do you got for us? You're here again. This is great.
Yes. Not sure what's going on there, but yeah. I have a couple comments here. Harry Warp said the proof flurfers demand are stupid. Flying a plane tangential to a point on the Earth until it goes into orbit. Seriously? And then Master Khalik says, these assholes are so dishonest, asking for images that they know they're going to deny.
That is good. Exactly. Because why even ask if you know you're not going to take it? Is that, really? Come on. Why even bother? I would think they would at least come at us and ask for something that they would accept. At least set it up for something that can be done, right?
Yeah.
Come on, right? And speaking about, coming to the table with, unrealistic things and whatnot, maybe that's our cue to finish the D-Marble video and see what he rounds it up with.
Yes,
Let's
man.
let him rant to his ridiculous conclusion.
All right. Kick it up, Tattie.
Particular image and this article. I was at work the other day. Just went to go ask some questions about a project I'm working on, sitting down talking to another coworker. And a point came where one guy was sitting at this table and he just pulls out his phone. He turns to this other guy and says, "Will you look at this? Look at this. Does this look real?" The guy's talking about this exact image. Hold on. Yeah, this image right here. There was a guy at work, pulled his phone out, and he's looking at this image, turns it around, and he's talking to this next guy. This guy sitting right next to him, saying, "Do you even believe this? Do you believe this? Do you think this is real?" And he was just going off about it. I already knew that he was talking about this thing. What NASA's doing right now is basically helping the globe lie / flat earth community. We don't believe in the...
Wait, no, sorry, we weren't going to pause. Sorry, we were going to let him finish, but I just want to say, I don't believe that story for a second.
No, do I.
Well, he works.
Oh, well, the fact that he works makes it iffy to begin with, but I don't believe that story about these two guys arguing about the picture of Saturn. No.
I tend to agree. He knows he's been called out and he's still in it for the money and the YouTube revenue.
Yeah. It's the casual spaceman called it in the chat right now. Do we believe anything he just said? Well, it's a big resounding no. No.
That's so cool.
So there we go.
Absolute rebel.
Fuck him and his bullshit, because that is just all we just heard. Absolute nonsense. At this point, do we want to listen to any more of his crap? I'm going to put it to the panel. What do you guys say? Yes or no? No.
To borrow another Dell term, get to fuck.
Yeah. Nice. Right on.
Get to fuck.
So let's head around the table. We'll each have our little turn saying, our little piece about that crap we just heard. And let's start with our resident monkey. Jut, what do you got to say on that?
Well, the guy's an absolute penis, really, isn't he? A complete and utter wank spanner. He's just sat there completely done with himself. He's still spouting the same toilet. It's boring. It's grating on me, and he hasn't got a fucking clue what he's saying, and he doesn't even understand what he's reading either. He's reading stuff, laughing at bits, but I don't think he even really gets it.
I know. I imagine that every day at supper, when he still lived with his parents, his father would look across the table and think, "Why in hell didn't I choke that one off in the shower? What was I thinking?"
Yeah. I always say, why did I have
a leaky rubber?
And then buy one off his mum. It doesn't matter.
Too funny. Let's check in with Kevin Kennedy. What are your thoughts on D-Marble this evening?
If there's any flat earthers watching right now, this is your future. This is it. To sit in front of a computer and laugh at other people's hard work and be afraid of everything all the time and just think that everything is fake. That is not a life worth living. That's all I have to say, really.
Yeah, that's a good sum up for him, man. I love it. And what is it? What does everybody in Cave Town say? What's the consensus there? Logical.
Little D-Marble gave a great shout. He had an argument he just had to get out. When he was done, he found he had none. Whew, was that wind he was passing?
Yes.
Oh man, that was amazing. That was totally awesome. Oh, tough act to follow, Sarcastic Barman. What do you got for us, buddy?
Well, I was just going to say, he thinks he has a job because all it is the mental asylum he's actually lives in just puts him on day release. But when he's at the asylum, they tell him that's his job and just give him a brush to brush the floor in the corner. He stays there for a couple of days. They then say, yeah, you can go home now. We'll see you tomorrow. And they give him a 1 day release because he's choked up on his meds. Then once he releases a video, they come and collect him and bring him back to the asylum and tell him he's has to come back into work.
Welcome to your padded cell.
Indeed, it would. That's amazing.
Oh, that was funny.
All right.
At first, the transcription of what I said was "Welcome to your padded cell," and then it changed it to a pirate cell. Oh.
Arr.
Why are pirates called pirates?
There it goes again.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's figuring out your icon with the sail and everything that's up on the wall there, right? In the pub. Maybe it's that good. You know, AI at its finest here. It's really got us. Let's see here. Oh, let's get Tommy. Tommy, what do you think of D Marble's display of absolute stupidity tonight?
Well, again, it's back to the photographic stuff, and the way those flat arts just can't see how a photo is taken or understand how the mechanics works is just stupid. Yeah, that's all.
It's the damn good point because it's absolutely true, 100%. And let's get with Rob here, the Snark. What do you got on this one?
It was so clear that the main part of what he's doing is simply reading what's already there, what everybody can read, and he's got nothing to say for himself. Let's say the ratio is completely lost. He's reading 95% and adding 5%. He's got nothing to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll agree there 100%. It was pretty sad in a lot of ways.
It's like the really dark times of PewDiePie's channel. Basically, when he was doing absolutely nothing, that's a joke that not many people here are gonna get.
No.
Yeah, I didn't at all.
Yeah, went straight over my head.
Brainy Beaver, you want to jump in here? What do you got to wrap up with this crap?
I'm so tired. I was working all day. Yeah, I won't have a video out this week. I'm hoping to live stream. I've had a lot of things happen at home and just getting caught up to shit. So
3K.
Yeah, 3K is coming. I'm very close. I can feel it. I might have a big surprise coming at 3K. We'll see. I'm thinking about some things. So yeah, other than that, I mean, just keep an eye out for my content. Sub to Brainy Beaver, and then what is it? Spaceman and all of you guys, Kennedy, all you guys, if you want to get in on, like, if we want to do a live stream, or I mean, I think a live stream would be fun, but we could do a video, whatever you guys want to do on, like, the politics of the current space race or whatever. That would be fun. I think that'd be a fun video.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Beaver, I was going to ask you actually, what that collab that I talked about.
Yeah,
I'm going to start on that next week. So I will get you some details and whatnot.
Yeah, let me know what you're looking for. We'll get it done.
Cool, man.
Perfect.
And I guess I'm also working on. I guess I am working on a video, a PSA, like a public service announcement. I'm getting Fights lost his voice, I think, right now, so he's going to be a couple days. Creaky's going to be a few days. So Logical already got me his piece. I think Kennedy's working on his or whatever. And so it's going to be a little bit of a PSA about not clicking on phishing emails and thinking before you.
Oh, nice.
Before you, Yeah, exactly. So it should be fun. We're gonna make fun of Flat Earth Martin because he has no channel anymore. Well, new channel.
Yeah, that's hilarious. What a moron. And let's check in with Amy Hogan. What do you think about that show tonight? And anything from the audience as well?
Oh my gosh, D Marble, what a goober. I'm sorry. He just... I do see that. I'm starting to think that he's a Poe. I don't see, I don't see him really believing what he's saying. He seems really fake to me. And He's a dork. That's all I can say.
Very
And that's just about it. Thank you.
He
All
does
right.
sound like he's talking shit.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. He's selling snake oil and everybody can hear it. And I think on that, we've pretty much come to the conclusion of what was some really good pub chat. I think everybody had a great time here tonight. So,
I had an awesome time.
Right. What do you say, guys? That was excellent. So let's turn to Brainy Beaver. Thanks for coming on, man. Great time tonight.
I need to find the right window. Can you even hear me?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
We hear you. You're absolutely on.
I'm lost in high IQ tabs. Oh my god! I don't even know where you guys are. There you are. Someone call
Trim your mustache. Get in the game.
Okay. Wait, what were you asking me to just to sign off and say bye, everybody? Okay.
Yeah,
man,
we're just saying bye right now.
Sake.
Put
Jesus
the pipe
Christ,
down
fine.
and
I thought-
unmute
when-
the damn thing.
Okay, all I wanted to say is when you said that everything was a good conversation, were we going all the way back to the incest part of the conversation?
No, we're skipping that part. Let's move on. Move on.
No. All right, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me, including the terrible, terrible conversation.
All right. And let's look for Tommy here. Final thoughts before we sign out, buddy. It's all yours.
Yeah, I was just after Conspiracy Cats last time, and just before Simon Dan this time, so I feel like the sweet cream filling.
That's really good.
Nice.
I love it. And our special guest for the night, the Snark. You got the last word, buddy.
Thanks very much. Well, in my opinion, Saint-Exupéry of the Petit Prince was the first flat earther, with the tiny planets. Well, okay, I'll leave you with that little thought.
I like that very much.
Yes.
And it was great fun to be here. Thanks very much.
Well, it was a great time having you. I'm sure I speak for everyone when I say that. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for Pub Chat. We're the Shills, and let me give you a little reminder here, speaking of public service announcements. Flat Earth is a disease, and when you're infected, it can take you down to the depths of where you never want to be. So, inoculation is your only defense. Get to a library and read yourself a book. It could save your life. On that note, we're the Shills, and what is it? We're out of here. Goodbye, everybody. See ya.
Catch you on the flip side.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Thank you for coming.
Cowboys.